Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsav Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. The US and Colombia have stepped back from the brink of a potential trade war. The White House announced that Colombia has agreed to accept aircraft transporting deported migrants from the US. Colombia had initially refused to receive military aircraft carrying migrants. US President Donald Trump then threatened to impose tariffs and sanctions on Colombia. Bogota reversed its stance after the threat. US federal agents launched raids in Puerto Rico and Colorado to detain undocumented immigrants. In San Juan, US Homeland Security agents raided a building and arrested at least 10 people. Meanwhile, in Colorado, agents raided a makeshift club detaining 50 immigrants. The raid also led to the seizure of drugs and weapons. These raids follow Trump's declaration calling illegal immigration a national emergency in the US. Trump spoke to Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer over a call on Sunday. Starmer praised Trump for his role in securing the landmark ceasefire in Gaza. Both leaders discussed the importance of working together for security in West Asia. They also talked about how both countries can promote a fair bilateral economic relationship. Starmer and Trump promised to meet each other soon. The White House has announced that the ongoing ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon has been extended till February 18th. This is despite Israel having missed its deadline to pull troops out of Lebanon. The US says it plans to negotiate with both sides for the release of Lebanese prisoners captured after the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack. In response, Lebanon's Prime Minister Najib Mikati reaffirmed his commitment to the ceasefire agreement. Meanwhile, an Israeli attack killed at least 22 people in southern Lebanon on Sunday amid the ceasefire. The attack took place while Lebanese citizens displaced by the war were trying to return home. At least 124 people also sustained injuries. The Israeli military said it had fired warning shots to remove threats approaching the troops. Israel says that Palestinians can begin returning to northern Gaza. This is after a deal was finalized with Hamas for the release of more hostages. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Hamas will release another 6 hostages on Thursday. Israel had earlier barred Palestinians from returning to northern Gaza. It had accused Hamas of violating the ongoing truce by failing to release civilian women hostages. The Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has condemned the idea of relocating the people of Gaza outside their territory. US President Donald Trump has floated a plan to quote-unquote clean out Gaza. He suggested that Jordan and Egypt should take Palestinians from Gaza. Both countries have rejected the idea. A Hamas official has also said that the group opposes Trump's plan. Russia said its forces have captured the Ukrainian town of Velika Novosilka. It's located in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. The Russian Defense Ministry said that its troops have taken control of the town. Ukraine claims that its troops have only strategically withdrawn from certain areas. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is visiting the UAE from today till January 29th. During the visit, Jaishankar will meet the top leadership of the country in order to bolster ties between the UAE and India. The two nations will also review the situation in Gaza. In a historic moment, the Indian flag was unfurled in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district. This happened for the first time on Sunday, India's 76th Republic Day. An elderly man, a youth and a child hoisted the flag jointly, symbolizing unity across generations. Indian security forces ensured that the event was peaceful. Iran and Afghanistan have called for increased cooperation. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi was in Kabul on Sunday. It was the highest-level Iranian visit to the Afghan capital since the Taliban's takeover in 2021. Araghchi met with his Afghan counterpart, Amir Khan Muttaqi, and the Taliban's government's Prime Minister, Hassan Akhund. At least 6 people have been killed in Pakistan's Multan region after an LPG tanker truck exploded last night. More than 30 others sustained injuries. The explosion of the gas-filled tanker sparked a massive fire, with debris from the truck landing in nearby residential areas. Over 10 firefighting vehicles were used to extinguish the blaze. South Korea has released the initial findings of a probe into the Jeju Air flight crash, which occurred last month. Investigators say they found evidence of a bird strike. The feathers and bloodstains of migratory ducks were seen on both engines of the Jeju aircraft. All 175 passengers and 4 of the 6 crew members were killed in the accident. Kenya's President William Ruto has said that leaders of the East African community have agreed to hold an extraordinary summit. This is to address the ongoing conflict between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Ruto said that the DRC's President, Felix Tshisekedi, and Rwanda's President, Paul Kagame, have agreed to attend the summit in the next 2 days. The DRC has accused Rwanda of sending troops across the border to help allied militants capture territory. In climate news, Storm Herminia has hit parts of western France over the weekend, leaving the streets of Rennes flooded. The French Weather Department has issued its second highest alert in 10 French departments, forecasting gusts of up to 150 kilometers per hour and high waves in the coastal regions of Brittany. The storm is expected to move northward today. Storm Herminia brought heavy rains and strong winds to northern Spain as well. The Spanish weather agency said that Galicia and the Cantabrian coast recorded gusts of wind exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. The Spanish weather agency warned that the gusts could turn into hurricane-force winds in coastal and mountain areas. Heavy rains lashed Brazil's Sao Paulo city, leading to a power supply cut reportedly to thousands of homes. Rainfall also caused traffic woes and subway overcrowding. An eyewitness video showed lightning strikes striking a plane's tail at Sao Paulo International Airport. Parts of Texas in the U.S. received record snowfall last week as a historic winter storm swept through the southern U.S. The storm stretched across Houston, New Orleans, and Florida's Panhandle to the Carolinas coast. The extreme weather has left the region with dangerous driving conditions. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to establish a review council to evaluate the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. Trump had raised the idea of a review council during his visit to disaster-hit areas in the states of North Carolina and California. He had accused FEMA of mishandling emergency relief efforts. Trump has called on the new review council to hold its first public meeting within 90 days. Climate change has impacted Russia's legendary cold winters as Russians witness early snowdrops, lower January temperatures, and a lack of ice on water bodies. According to scientists, the coming week promises abnormally warm weather in the Russian capital, Moscow, with the biggest deviation from normal temperatures in central Siberia. Moving to business and tech news now, Europe's top car makers will meet in Brussels to address challenges like Chinese competition and climate rules. The meeting, led by EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen, aims to strengthen the auto industry. The sector employs over 13 million people and contributes 7% to the EU's GDP. The key focus of the meeting is avoiding large emission fines in 2025. Spotify and the Universal Music Group have signed a new deal to improve music licensing and publishing. The agreement will cover Spotify's services in the US and other countries, with a focus on benefiting artists and songwriters. Spotify will introduce new subscription plans and bundles, expanding its content to attract more users. The deal aims to bring innovation while Spotify focuses on cost-cutting and boosting profits. Oil prices reduced on Monday after Trump pushed OPEC to lower the prices. Brent crude futures fell by 35 cents to $78.15 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell by 89 cents to $73.77 per barrel. Trump argues that reducing oil prices would hurt Russia's finances. He said it'll end the Ukraine war sooner. Luxury car maker Jaguar Land Rover is investing $80 million to expand its luxury car paint services. The investment will be used to build new paint facilities in the UK and Slovakia. The aim is to meet increasing demand for custom vehicle colors, especially for high-end cars. Jaguar will allow customers to match their car paint with the colors of their private jets or yachts. The Bank of Japan raised its interest rate from 0.25% to 0.5%. This is the highest hike in 17 years. The move is to help Japan reach its inflation target of 2% with rising wages and prices. The yen strengthened and Japanese bond yields went up after the rate hike. Chinese AI startup DeepSeek's artificial intelligence application has overtaken ChatGPT as the most downloaded free app on the US Apple App Store. Since its launch on January 10th, the AI app has gained significant traction. Users can access all features of DeepSeek at no cost. Meanwhile, Perplexity AI has proposed merging with TikTok's US operations to avoid a possible ban. The plan suggests creating a new US-based company, separate from ByteDance, without TikTok's core recommendation algorithm. Under the proposal, the US government could own up to 50% of the company after it goes public. The offer comes as US lawmakers push for stricter controls on TikTok due to national security concerns. Reports say that Donald Trump is in talks about selling TikTok to Oracle and other investors. The plan is to let U.S. companies handle TikTok's operations to address U.S. national security issues. TikTok's parent company ByteDance would still have a small share in the company. A decision on the matter is expected in the next 30 days. Reports say that Wall Street banks are preparing to sell $3 billion worth of loans tied to Elon Musk's company X, formerly known as Twitter. These loans were originally taken out to help finance Musk's acquisition of Twitter. The banks are looking to offload them to reduce their exposure to the company. The sale of these loans comes as X's financial outlook has improved, attracting more investor interest. Spanish oil company Repsol plans to invest $4.2 billion in data centers near the city of Zaragoza. The region is becoming a cloud computing hub. Amazon and Microsoft have also announced massive investments there. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. Star Indian bowler Jasprit Bumrah's participation in the upcoming Champions Trophy hangs in the balance. Bumrah's back injury is being assessed by a team of medical experts in New Zealand. Reports say that there's a possibility of Bumrah visiting the country for treatment. The ace bowler has been picked in the Indian squad for the Champions Trophy, but his final participation remains uncertain. Pakistan Cricket Board's chairman ruled out a young opener Saim Ayub from the upcoming Champions Trophy. This is due to an ankle injury for which Ayub is receiving treatment in London. The 22-year-old had fractured his ankle during the second test against South Africa earlier this month in Cape Town. India will play against England in the third T20 international of their 5-match series. The third match will be played in Western India's Rajkot city. India, led by Surya Kumar Yadav, have won the first 2 matches of the series already. The hosts will look to seal the series in Rajkot. In football, Manchester United beat Fulham 1-0 in their Premier League clash. After a goalless first half, United pushed forward with their attack. A 78th-minute deflected strike by Lisandro Martinez sealed the game for United. This is Manchester United's second win in a row after beating Rangers in the Europa League earlier this week. Brentford beat Crystal Palace 2-1 in their Premier League match. The first half remained goalless, but Brentford's Brian Mbeumo converted a penalty in the 66th minute. Kevin Shade took the scoreline to 2-0 shortly afterwards. Crystal Palace's Romain Esse followed through with an 85th minute goal, but it was all in vain as Brentford won the match. Leicester City beat Tottenham 2-1 in the Premier League. Tottenham's Richarlison scored the opening goal in the 33rd minute, but shortly into the second half, Leicester's Jamie Vardy struck an equaliser. Bilal El Khanous followed through shortly after to take the scoreline to 2-1. Leicester held on to the lead and then won their match. Aston Villa played a 1-1 tie against West Ham in the Premier League. Aston Villa's Jacob Ramsey struck the opening goal shortly as the game started. West Ham's Emerson Palmieri hit an equaliser in the 70th minute. Aston Villa were forced to reorganise when Tyrone Mings was forced off the field due to an injury. The match, after that, ended in a tie. In badminton, men's world number 3, Jonathan Christie, lost to Indonesia Masters final. Christie lost to the reigning world champion Khan Lavat Vitidsan of Thailand 18-21, 21-17, 21-18. For the Thai shuttler, this is his second title win in less than 3 months. And it was a day of double celebrations for the Thai contingent in Indonesia. Women's world number 13, Ratchanok Intanon, also won the Indonesia Masters title. Intanon beat her South Korean opponent Sim Yoo Jin 21-18, 21-17 in the women's singles final. Former Indian men's hockey captain P.R. Srijesh will be conferred with a Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civilian honour. Recently retired cricketer Ravichandran Ashwin, former footballer I.M. Vijayan and para-archer Harvinder Singh will be conferred with the Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian honour. Para-athletics coach Satyapal Singh will also be conferred with the Padma Shri. Moving to entertainment news, pop star Taylor Swift and her family were at the Arrowhead Stadium yesterday to cheer for her boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, in the AFC Championship. His team is vying for a spot in the 2025 Super Bowl. US-based sports media ESPN teamed up with singer Pharrell Williams for the campaign launch of the 10th season of the National Basketball Association, or NBA, Saturday primetime on ABC. The campaign features his tracks Piece by Piece, Rockstar and Grindin. Hugh Jackman has kicked off his concert series at Radio City Music Hall in New York. Actor Ryan Reynolds joined the Australian singer and actor during his performance. The actor praised his Deadpool and Wolverine co-star as the best human being he knows. Jennifer Lopez gave a surprise performance during the Sundance Film Festival. She was in Park City for the world premiere of her Kiss of the Spider-Woman. The singer jumped into a DJ booth for a surprise performance. Norwegian director Emily Blichfeldt has spoken up about getting the gore right in her debut feature, The Ugly Stepsister. The film is an adaptation of the fairy tale Cinderella into a body horror tale. Blichfeldt said that she used practical, painstaking effects to get the adaptation right. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. war satire film Atropia premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah over the weekend. The film stars actors Callum Turner and Alia Shawkat. The filmmaker Hayley Gates said that she was initially planning to make a documentary, but later decided to make a military-industrial complex romantic comedy. Flight Risk flies to the number one spot for the 2025 on its opening weekend. Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg's film has earned $12 million over the weekend, in an otherwise muted January in North American theaters. Actor Sterling K. Brown's Paradise made a surprise early debut across Hulu and Disney+. Its first episode of the new drama series premiered yesterday. The premiere of the first 3 episodes was initially scheduled for Tuesday. The 8-episode show has its finale scheduled for March 4th. The world's #1 K-pop festival, KCON, is slated to return to Los Angeles this summer. The announcement was made by Korean entertainment giant CJENM. The festival will kick off season 2025 in Japan's Chiba from May 9th to 11th, and then head to Los Angeles between August 1st and 3rd. Dark Horse Comics said it will not take back Neil Gaiman's work. The publisher was set to publish comic adaptations of the author's works, including Anansi Boys series. The decision follows recent allegations of sexual abuse against Gaiman. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to First Post.